Do you like history?
Yeah, I like history.
I don't like history at all. Oh my gosh, I don't like history.
How do you not like history?
I just don't. I like respect it, especially as an American, like American history, and I'm just like it happened. Like what else? What is there to talk? Okay, so there's like a Bay of Pigs. Okay, so now what are we gonna do?
It's fascinating. Everything is history, though. Everything.
I know, but my point is that's my point, though. That's all it is. So it's just fascinating and interesting.
Yeah.
But if you don't find it fascinating and interesting, it's worthless. It doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't do any good for me to know, something necessarily like I hate the Pearl Harbor. Like it was bad. And then it's like, okay. And when you go even like to more like, like less eventful history, like.
No, there's lessons to be gleaned. We have to like, there are things that like, we've got to remember. You know what I mean?
So
that it's like.
Give me one example of a life lesson that you learned through history class.
All right, let me think about this.
I know I'm in the minority here. Maybe not. Yeah, some people just, yeah. And I like, again, I respect, I'm America. Like I'm very, very proud, pro-American guy.
Yeah.
I love all the things about our country. And
just our history or
studying.
any history? What about like the Romans, the Egyptians?
Yeah, again, they're just interesting. I took 4 years of Latin, so obviously there's some interest there.
Yeah.
When Rome sacked Gaul, modern day France, but back then we called it Gaul.
See,
Britannia est insula.
What does that mean?
Britain is an island. Est Britannia parva insula.
This is what you learned from
This is
your
Latin.
Literally
I just asked
Latin
you,
class?
is Britain a small island? I'd say non parva est magna.
I cannot believe
small,
you could
big.
actually speak
Latin. We're in the episode, by the way.
Oh.
Welcome to the Sales Unscripted podcast. I'm Bryan Neal.
And I'm Margaret
And
Henny.
we are in the episode, little pre-show. You get that's what we're doing. We're unscripted. We're part of it. So we're in the episode. I was actually, so we're going to keep all that little front roll.
Oh,
I was the, first of all, president of the Castle High School Latin Club in 1987.
What?
Can't make that up. Guess how many kids we had in our Latin club? In our Latin club, guess how many kids we had?
12.
150.
No way.
We had 150 people. Brenda Waddle, she lives here in Brownsburg, actually.
No.
She moved up here.
Come on. What kind of things were you guys doing in the
Everything.
Latin club?
I got yearbooks to prove it. Here's what's funny. I ran against Laura Childress, who's a friend of mine. We ran against each other for president.
Yeah.
We tied.
Oh,
we
that's
tied.
so
You know what we
nice.
did in true Latin fashion history? So you would know that back in Rome, they actually had co-presidents. They were called co-concilibus.
I love that idea.
Co-concilibus. So Laura and I were co-concilibi.
How'd it go?
Fantastic. So we were friends already, and it was great.
I love
it. It was
it.
wonderful. Yeah. We had a quiz game called Certamen, which stands for contest in Latin. Certamen is like a light, you push, they'd ask you questions to conjugate verbs and stuff like that.
Dude, just when I
Nerd
thought
alert, nerd alert.
when I thought I knew you.
Nerd alert.
And then you
Nerd
bring out
alert.
the Latin.
You wouldn't have seen that, would you?
Never.
It's actually very on brand. You just don't realize. I'm very nerdy, very student activity, nerdy geek guy.
Yeah, but you know what else is
100%.
funny is you
Not that I'm cool
literally
otherwise, but yes.
in the last episode you literally just said that you don't have a big vocabulary.
I don't.
I bet you do. Latin, all words are derived from Latin.
I know where they're from, but I don't know the words. I just don't.
Oh my god,
funny.
that
So I
is
love
hilarious.
Latin. Brenda Waddle. She's on
Shout
Facebook.
out, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda. She was awesome. One of my favorite teachers.
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about
this episode?
when people are freaking out.
Yes.
Speaking of Latin, when people are freaking out, we tend to lose our minds.
Yeah.
Correct. It's like flipping out. So people we're getting. You having starting bad first half. But January was bad first half of the quarter. Freaking out. Oh my God! Everyone's panicking. The ECOs are panicking. VPs of sales are panicking. And then all of a sudden, it's like we lose our minds and forget what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Freaking out.
Which I have to say, I sympathize with this, right? Everyone's kind of it's hard not to be like, oh my God, things aren't working right now, or they're harder than they usually are.
Yeah.
What do we need to be doing that's totally new and completely different? What is that magic bullet, that we're looking for, silver bullet, whatever it is. And it's sort of like this, chasing after some kind of freaking unicorn that isn't there. And it's like there are core basics of what you should be doing.
Yes and yes.
And what sucks is it's not sexy to bring up those core basics, right? People are like, I already know that.
So
I know that you know it, which is great, but you have to, there's a reason that they are the basics.
Truth.
And so you always got to come back to them.
100%. And I don't know where the propensity to freak out comes from and to do something different. I think it's a fear of okay, Now, here's another thing that's going on, though, in this freak out period, is we didn't do, I think I may have said this in one of our episodes, when people say, okay, what should we do in the recession? Or what should we do in the headwinds? Well, my answer is kind of snarky. I say you should be doing what you should have been doing during the boom that you didn't do because you didn't have to.
Yeah.
So that's part of the problem, I think, that we lost a little discipline in what we were doing. You know, we had lack of discipline with like follow up with clear future dates, with our prospecting activity, maybe our LinkedIn game, whatever it was, we've lost some discipline there. And so when the leadership freaks out, sales leader, CEO, whatever, even the salespeople freak out, they're like, I need to do something different because what I'm doing is not working. But what they don't realize is what they're doing isn't what they should have been doing or should be doing, which is basic. They're not doing the basics. I'm so glad you said that because I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. And it sucks because like to bring it up, people are like, they don't want to hear it. And I get it. You're like, because you're like, that's nothing new. Like what is going to be the thing that changes it? And it's like, it really is the basics and consistency and having like a structure where you can check in and be like, are you doing these things?
Yes.
Right. So.
Yes. And and so the thing that I think, like lays over all those things is discipline.
Yeah.
That's the part that I think people really need to get cued in on is what does discipline look like for them in their sales life?
Totally.
And it looks discipline and process and behavior and showing up early, working through lunch sort of stuff. Be like, oh, you know, but that's discipline. That's hard work, head down. I think this is a time to consider those things. Because people, I think, are so used to, well, we had COVID, we were working from home, the demand was really high, so my effort in was way less for my output than it is now. Yeah. Effort in's got to change a bit, not the what behind it, right? It's not like, okay, screw all it, we're not going to make any more. We're not going to send co-videos anymore. We're going to send voice memos on text.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, why are we doing that? Like we know video works. We know it works. Where's our discipline to how many, how often, those sorts of things, the discipline of the material in it. So
yeah, exactly.
That's what I think's missing.
Yeah. And I've had that, like, I'll make that same like analogy that I think it's always good with the gym. And I know some people hate this analogy because some people are like, don't make this analogy because I hate the gym, but like whatever.
It's true though.
Apply it to anything that you want.
Truth.
Where like, okay, as an example, you send a video and it either doesn't get viewed or doesn't get responded to. And people say it doesn't work. They've sent one, and they're like, it doesn't work. And I'm like, you don't go to the gym, do one pull up and say my muscles aren't bigger.
100%.
What's happening?
100%.
Like you've got to keep doing it. You've got to like lace up the shoes and you've got to show up and do it consistently over time. Doesn't mean that you have to do it like you don't have to go balls to the wall either. Totally. Like writing, I love also the analogy. I'm really big into analogies.
You're
now.
really good ones too. Like very, very
Thank
good
you.
analogies. And they're very meaningful.
One of them, as you look at your phone.
No. Well, I'm looking for something to share.
You.
I'm actually here it is. I'm gonna read it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, I've got one more analogy to share.
Yeah, no, I'm listening too, and I found what I wanted to share with you.
Okay, good, perfect. I'm sorry, I'm just teasing you.
No, you can tease me. It's all right.
But I heard this somewhere, I can't remember, but the idea of like riding a ship in the middle of the ocean, like changing course just barely, a tiny bit, like that changes the overall where you're going to land by huge margins. But it doesn't have to be, you don't have to go 90 degrees in the opposite direction to end up somewhere closer to where you want to be.
Very true.
So,
yeah. Did you know I have my pilot's license?
Pilots?
I have my pilot's license. Did you know that? And I'm not current, but
no
I have my pilot's
way.
license. So you learn this when you're flying. When you're flying, you fly to a magnetic heading. So if you're flying magnetic heading, 020, you're going just about north.
Okay.
But to your point, if I start at the equator and I change 020 to 030, just look on the equator how far away it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a deal.
North is always straight ahead of me in my mind.
It is. I like that. Hey, whatever works with directions. You said you admitted downstairs you're directionally challenged.
I am.
You do what works for you, right? You can use the sun. You can use street signs. Are you a person? Do you hold up your hand to see which way is left or right? Do you hold up your left hand?
No, but I did teach that to my niece and nephew because they're trying to, because they're really little, and I was like, "Here's a little trick from Tia."
From Tia. Your name's Tia?
Yeah. Well, Tia.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Auntie.
Well, no, Tia is aunt in Spanish.
Oh,
and
that's fun.
Which is, I happened to be in language school when my sister-in-law was pregnant with my niece, and everybody in the family like was choosing names. I didn't realize we had to choose names.
Oh, you're for yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
like, my mom was like,
great.
I want to be Gaga.
Oh,
my dad was
it.
like, I'm going to be Babu.
Yeah.
Like, they're very random names. And they're like, Margaret, what are you going to be? And I was like, I don't know, Tia?
That's
I panicked.
great.
I'm
That's
Tia.
a good one. I love Tia.
Yep.
I might, though. What's your mom's name again? You got Fred and
Kathy.
Kathy.
Friend Kathy.
And Kathy. I just picture Kathy like in a meat suit going to the Grammys going, rah, rah, rah. Is that fit? She's Gaga. I mean, she's Gaga. Right?
I know, isn't that funny?
Would you please for Christmas, you and your brother, right?
Yeah, I do.
Get her a meat suit, the one that Gaga wore for Grandma, or for Gaga.
God,
sorry,
she would think that's so
hilarious,
funny.
though, isn't it funny? I think that's funny.
Yep.
So here's a guy. There's a fitness guy. I'm just validating what you said.
Thank you.
Jordan Syatt, it's his name. He said he'll be on any podcast. I love the guy. Follow him. He's been on his program for a while. Great guy for fitness stuff. Here's his post from today.
Oh.
From today.
So
he says,
timely.
you didn't gain 30 pounds and get out of shape in a month. You aren't going to lose 30 pounds and get back in shape in a month. Progress takes a long time of being very consistent. Shut up. Be patient. Keep going.
I love it.
I love this guy.
Shut
Jordan
up.
Syatt. He's awesome. He was Gary V's trainer. Gary Vaynerchuk.
Oh,
he was
yeah,
his
yeah,
personal
yeah.
trainer for a while. He's just such a common sense guy with fitness. But that's the thing.
Yeah.
People go to the gym like, they think, okay, we're going to start sending quit video, start doing text voice memos. We do it for 3 days. How many we got? It's like, no, you can't.
No.
You got to be consistent.
Yep.
That's back to discipline.
Yep,
People
exactly.
have gotten away from their consistency in their behaviors. And it's so interesting to watch. And I hear people, and it's funny now, people have set stuff aside and now they need it, LinkedIn being one. So what's happening in tech? Like, what's the big thing that's going on in all tech?
Lots of
Lots of layoffs.
Tons.
And everyone all of a sudden is like, oh, shit, I
Yeah.
need LinkedIn now, and I don't have a personal brand. Well, listen to Blind Zebra, Margaret Henney, B. Neal. You've been building a personal brand forever. You never stop. Consistency's the key. Keep posting, keep communicating, so it's there when you need it.
Yep.
And people are getting stung by that. This is good.
Yeah.
Discipline to these things.
Yeah.
That's
And
the
I
trick.
would say one thing, we just touched on this
Yeah.
last episode, but a good thing for discipline is, because you talked about, I'm going to forget the name of it. We're productivity pods.
Prod pod, yep.
So
Prod
that's
pod,
a
yep.
good one. Time blocking. So blocking
very-
out your schedule is a
Yes.
great way to stay disciplined. So if
Yes.
it's something that you're struggling with, you're not totally sure where to start, block out that calendar
Yes.
and be consistent with it. Look at that as time that is non-negotiable.
Love that.
Right? Like, make an appointment with yourself, whatever that is, whether that's LinkedIn time, prospecting, following up, making connections or asking for referrals, whatever is important to you, put it on the calendar. It's non-negotiable.
100%. It helps to be non-negotiable if you do it with some productivity
Yeah.
partner with you. People need to show up. Like, it's just like working out, right?
Yep. Get a
Odds
partner.
go up that you'll do it. How's your working out? Did you pull Pilates?
So well.
You're on it, aren't you?
I'm
I can
on it.
tell.
I feel really,
Yeah, it's
really
great.
good.
Good for you.
Thank you.
It
I
all
needed
started
that first
on,
domino.
That's it. First domino. That was
Domino.
it. Yeah. It's a vocabulary.
Oh,
It's
God.
tough. And thank you for calling me out for looking at my phone when I was trying to find it.
I'm sorry.
No, it's a thing though, here's what happens though. People don't call people out on it, but it irritates them.
Yeah.
Then resentment builds. You're like, oh, you wasn't even paying attention when I was talking on the podcast.
Well, and I just say
And
because
I also
like
take notes and I think of
Yes.
things to say, and I do this too. I should probably warn people though, because it can appear kind of rude that I'm ordering DoorDash while we're recording the podcast, which I'm not above.
I do that when I was like on sales calls though, because I love to take notes because
Yeah.
I'll call back to them
Yes,
later
yes,
or
yes.
whatever, even if I'm recording the call, and I'll tell people, I'll be like, hey, just so you know, if I'm not looking at you, it's because I'm taking notes
That's
while
great
we're
to do.
talking.
That's really good to do.
So.
Nice little tip there. So I think the theme here, we be disciplined to the basics.
Yep.
That's it, right? Discipline to basics. That is just bravo. Yep. And what else was I going to say?
I don't know. Hey, you guys might see us in a different setup
Oh,
next
that's right.
time.
Next time might be a
So
little different setup. We'll
let
see.
us know what you
Compare,
think
contrast.
of this one.
We can do a couple.
We'll mix it up.
Shift it around a little bit next time, and then we'll do kind of a compare contrast. Maybe let everyone vote, and then do whatever we want.
And do whatever we decide we
That's what
like
you
the
do.
best.
Correct.
Because it's our podcast.
It is. Damn it.
No, sorry.
Okay, that's it.
Bye,
Thanks for joining
guys.
us. What's up? Bye.